Okay, so hey guys, and today we are back with another movie review, and we are continuing our Toy Story journey. By this time, reviewing Toy Story 2, the sequel to the 1995 classic Toy Story, which was released just 3 to 4 years after the original. Anyways, let's begin the review. Okay, so Jessie and Bullseye are some great additions to the Toy Story universe, and I love Jessie's backstory so much so that, in fact, is my favorite scene of this movie. Jessie is a pretty good character who is misunderstood by Woody and us, the audience ourselves. But slowly we know about her sad past and understand her and the reason behind the way of her acting that way, and that is when we start to like her. Even though she is just a toy, we understand her and even feel sad for her, and that is what makes this character so great. Bullseye was good too, but he didn't really play a major role in this movie. I did love that scene though, where Bullseye stepped over all those Cheetos that had dropped on the floor at night while Woody was sneakily trying to get his torn arm back from Al. Him licking Al's Cheetos fingers were gross but also kind of funny, but gross for the most part. I also like how they give solid reasoning for why Woody should come to the museum instead of going back to Andy, and Woody even accepts to do that. It's not his fault though, since the prospector presented the two options in such a way that any toy would choose the museum one. It is great that he did realize later on that he was wrong and finally decided to stay with Andy instead of being a showpiece. A toy life is way better than a showpiece life. The showpiece life is the most boring life you could possibly imagine, and that is why Woody made the right choice. Okay, so the villains of this movie are Al and the Prospector, and also that Emperor Zurg toy, I guess. I mean, Emperor Zurg is a villain, but that toy itself did nothing evil instead of wasting the time of Andy's toys. So, kind of confused on whether that Emperor Zurg toy is a villain or not. Anyways, Al might not look like a villain from the outside, but he's very greedy from the inside, and the greed is what makes him a villain. He's way worse than Sid. He straight up steals Woody for his own profit. Yeah, he commits a crime for his own profit. Even though stealing a toy is a minor one, it still is a crime. He also has some dialogues like you are going to make me buck 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 and it feels like I'm printing my own money, which proves his greed even more. And his greed is what ultimately led to his downfall, obviously, since at the end he had to make every toy really cheap in his store. Okay, so the Prospector was the main villain of the movie, and I was not even surprised when he got revealed as a villain. I saw it coming from a mile away. Why do animated movies have such bad villain reviews? I would be way more surprised if Jessie actually turned out to be the villain, and if it turned out that the backstory she told was simply a lie to get Woody to come to Japan with them. The Prospector is an okay villain overall, and he basically is a watered down version of Lotso. I will be honest, the Lotso reveal surprised me a little bit, and a little bit is still better than nothing. Okay, so I love the adventure Andy's toys had in Al's toy barn. The fake Buzz Lightyear was so good and funny, and I loved it when the real Buzz said, "Tell me I wasn't death deluded." It did surprise me though when the deluded Buzz overpowered the real Buzz, but that probably is because the real Buzz just doesn't care anymore, and the deluded Buzz still thinks he's a space ranger and is taking it super seriously, and that's why deluded Buzz has the advantage and is able to easily overpower the real Buzz. But real Buzz knows the truth and also has the knowledge of the space squadron thing. And he takes advantage of that and finally defeats or at least stops deluded Buzz from causing more trouble, I guess. I love that scene where Emperor Zurg suddenly popped up out of nowhere and got into a fight with deluded Buzz. I'm going to be honest, the I am father twist blew me away and I was not expecting that. That was probably the biggest twist in the history of plot twists. Okay, so in the final scene, Andy's toys try to rescue Woody, and Buzz even opens the suitcase that Woody is in. But the prospector pops out of it and punches Buzz out of there. That angers Woody, and he starts fighting with him, which results in the prospector ripping out Woody's arm again with his pickaxe, which is pretty dark if you think about it. Anyways, Andy's toys finally defeat the prospector, and at the end, he's put in a bag with a Barbie doll, which has scribbles on her face. On the other side, Jesse and Woody have already got into the airplane, and it is about to take off when Woody thinks of a clever plan and gets himself and Jesse out of it. I love this scene because of how adventurous it was. And after the scene, we find all the toys back in Andy's house, and at the end, the movie ends as Weezy sings, "You have got a friend in me." Rating 9.5 out of 10. Best moment, Jesse's Spark. So yeah guys, that was it for the video. And the reason I didn't give it 10 out of 10 is because it didn't feel like a perfect movie like Toy Story 1 and 3 did in my opinion. And also because its villain twist was pretty bad. And so don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe and say bye.